Watchman you well on Sentinel's View. Okay, what I want to talk about, right, is Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. Okay, so for what we have heard, she experienced racism and in different forms and such. I'm not too sure if I heard in detail the types of racism, but it's still racism. The question I ask is, what did you expect? You see, a lot of times, black or African women particularly, right, they would think by getting with a white zaddy that they're not going to experience any more racism. But that could be no further from the truth, right? They experience racism everywhere they go. So you're not exempt from the system of white supremacy. Okay? You're not exempt from that. And even in the times of slavery, a lot of times when those slave masters was sleeping with those black women, it was the white woman talking in his ears. As a matter of fact, she was trying to beat that black or African woman, whatever, in the time of slavery. She was trying to beat her when she found out that the slave master was sleeping with her. Sometimes she would even provoke him to hurt her. And this is historical facts, by the way. So what will make y'all think that they have changed? And I guarantee you can speak to any person who has been in an interracial relationship who had got out of it. They can tell you the types of racism they experienced. Whether it was big or small, they still experience some kind of racism. So yeah, then I'm hearing black women online, right? Especially the ones that's like praising white men. I'm hearing them online talking about how what's his name, Prince Harry saved her from the racism. So that's a true protection. No, dummy, that's not protection. That's not true protection. True protection would have been if he would have never brought her into that castle, knowing how they feel about her, and he could have took her somewhere else, and they could live happily ever after, so to speak. But no, what did he do? He brought her to the flames. And what happens when you're dealing with the flames? You're gonna get burnt. He knew that his family is racist. Okay? They're racist. So as a result, she dealt with that, and she got dealt with, and she got burnt. Then she's talking about she wanted to commit suicide. To me, I ain't buying it. Baloney. But that's another story. What a lot of you see, and a lot of you women too, y'all don't seem to understand. Y'all so bent over backwards for this white dude who represents the face of white supremacy. I even there's a picture of him wearing a swastika in the past. And what a lot of black women and African women will do, they'll say, oh, that's in the past. They forgive. How dumb is that? You don't know your enemy. Historically, these men have raped, conquered, and did all types of things to black and African women, yet they still remain racist. Okay, with all this interracial relations, right? Has that changed racism? Don't you still see racism coming out, or even more? Especially with those kids when they become mixed kids. Sometimes they're racist towards blacks, the mixed ones, and they think they're better. Especially in the Caribbean, that happens a lot. There's a buffer class where the lighter ones think they're better than the darker ones, and I think in Africa too, if I'm not mistaken. So yes, historically, this has happened. So I don't know what the big fuss is about, because like I said, that's not true protection. True protection is taking her away from that scene, because he already knew that it was racist. Some of us had girlfriends in the past, right? And we knew that our parents would not recommend. Okay? And what did we do? We kept that person away, right? he could have did the same thing, so he didn't protect her. That's baloney. Okay? And like I said, a lot of you need to learn history, because when you're praising him, you're praising the oppressor. The same people that conquered, colonized our ancestors, and are keeping a lot of African countries poor, to the point where some of these African countries, right, some of these people in Africa, they can't even go to Britain, but British people can go to their African countries at will. Now, is that fair? And here these countries talking about forgiving, but they got no reparations. They keep the economy poor. So what are you getting out of the deal when you're talking about forgiving? That's that Christian foolishness that I've been talking about. Okay, it's not in the Bible. It was embedded into our into our ancestors, and they passed it on to us. Okay, the Most High is not telling you to love your enemies. Okay, not just sworn enemy that keeps on killing you. Okay, this is a battlefield, and you talk about love your enemies in the battlefield. See, the slave master knew how to take over the minds of African and black people. He knew, make them Christians. Why? Because if you make them Christians, they'll be subjected to white compliance. And for me, right, I'm under the impression during the times of slavery, there were black Christians that were snitching on some of those black slaves that were trying to escape, causing them to get lynched by the slave master. See, this is why Christianity is dangerous. We need to break out of the spell. It's a spell that got us so locked into Europeans that anything they do to us, we're quick to forgive and such. But that's another story. I'll say it for another video. But as far as this video, there's nothing to praise about when it comes to Prince Harry. And as a matter of fact, Meghan Markle, see, she had to learn the hard way that even as a mixed breed, or whatever you want to call it, she still got treated as a black person. Okay, they let her know that you black. Okay, you black. The second you mixed, you're black, and you're not welcome. Okay, the men may sleep with you, they may do things like that, but that white woman will be speaking in his ears. And truthfully, he's not going to leave his white woman over you. Majority of the times, he's not going to do that. Just because this was a rare case, but he's not going to do that. So stop being happy for this, because see, this is how a lot of black women and such, they end up hurt, experiencing racism, or even more, or even death for that matter, because a lot of these white zaddies, when they switch up on you, they switch up on you real quick, and you got no one to blame but yourself. And that's that.